Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and it's time for Monday Minisode.
Yeah, it's another Monday Mini. We're bringing it fresh to you on a Monday. Way to start your week by checking out some Pure Hustle Podcasts while we talk about shipping globally today, I think, right? One of our favorite things, making money from across the sea.
I probably make not most of my money, but all my big sales are usually overseas.
Now, a lot of times it is bigger items. I have noticed that. I mean, it makes sense too. Like if you're going to be paying a lot in shipping, it's probably not going to be for a $10 shirt. You know, it's probably going to be because you're buying something bigger anyways. But it is nice because when those big things go overseas, you have a lot of extra protection, and we'll definitely be talking about that today. But so we're going to be going over some kind of tips and tricks and things to keep in mind when you're shipping internationally, globally, to ensure that you're protected and you're making the most money possible.
All right. So I want to start off real quick by saying, if you have not been selling internationally, you need to start. To me, there's a lot of things in reselling where you can always go, well, that's one way of seeing it. That's one way of seeing it. But I would say with this is a non-negotiable. So I would strongly encourage you, if you're selling on Poshmark and Mercari or Depop and other sites that don't go global, that you look into eBay, right? eBay is the one site that's going to give you the international audience. Now, Amazon does a little bit of that, but it's a little bit trickier. Like Amazon sells to Mexico, Canada. I think they're now starting in Australia, parts of Europe. But eBay, to me, is the easiest way to sell things internationally. So let me talk about that a little bit. But before we get moving, here's the thing. Everybody worries. Like, did you have worries about selling internationally in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit of time for you to convince me to try the GSP program, and then that was
the global shipping program.
Yeah, and that was a little bit easier of a transition for me. But it's interesting because it was shortly after I started that I made one of my first big sells that you had told me, I think on one of the items, you're like, that's probably going to go international. And sure enough, it did. So it happened. The sell happened pretty quickly. And then, now that I look back, almost every single one of my international sales have been over $100. So those are nice. Right? Those are when we have hustles of the week and we talk about like big sales, a lot of times they're the items that sell over 100, and a good percentage of those end up being international sales.
Well, I look at it as if they're willing to pay the shipping, right? Because usually shipping international isn't cheap. They're going to buy more expensive items, right? They have the pockets to be able to do that. So here's some of the fears I had initially. Some of my fears were, one is, what if it shows up somewhere and it gets lost and then they want their money back? Or how do I handle a return? Or what if it's scammer? What if it's the, Craigslist Nigerian prince showing up, right? And wanting to buy stuff from me?
Or what about customs? How do I make sure it gets through customs, or that I'm not breaking any laws in their country, right? Like all of those things are things you could be worried about for sure.
Yeah, but the easiest way to, I don't know, is it console? No, it's not console. Ease your fears is keep everything on whatever platform that you're selling, okay? So you'll get international buyers that every once in a while will be scammers, and they'll say, hey, can you text me and we can talk through text, or can you call me, or can you send me a PayPal invoice, right? That's been the recent one for me that I've been getting, is like, hey, can we do things on PayPal? Here's the thing. You want to keep everything on the platform. The seller protections that eBay has for international items that sell is amazing. It's great. And eBay's global shipping program is basic. All you have to do is ship it to Kentucky. Once you ship it to Kentucky, where their eBay global shipping hub is, you're done, right? And as long as you keep it in the platform and you ship it to that location, all is good. Yeah. Now, every once in a while, you may get somebody asking for a return, but that is the rarity.
Yeah, and if it's through GSP, you're not dealing with it as much. International shipping, there's some differences there a little bit if you're doing through eBay. But keeping it on a platform is a great point because, like you said, you may get those people who want to do something on an encrypted email using Bitcoin for the transaction, right?
Yeah.
Stay away from that unless you're willing to move to the dark web, okay? And you're opening up a can of worms you probably don't want to open up. But when you're on the eBay platform, everything is above water, and you get to kind of wash your hands of a lot of it. It makes it to Kentucky. It's fine. They handle things like we talked about with fears, like customs and getting it to the right person and making sure that taxes are paid and all that stuff. That's not on you. All you have to do is get it to Kentucky, and the rest they're taken care of. And then if you use other options like international shipping. There might be some forms you have to fill out, but we have tips for that as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Now, the next tool is use Google Translate. Like I get messages all the time. Well, it'll be in French. It'll be in Spanish. I get sometimes messages from people in parts of East Asia. And Google Translate is your friend. It's crazy how effective it is. Have you had to translate messages?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. And it's not something you may not think about. Like I remember when I was a news seller, I would get a message in a foreign language and my mind just didn't think.
You just want to ignore it. Like,
yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it's not safe, blah, blah. But no, it's really easy. Now, it's not 100% perfect. I speak Spanish. And so I've seen some of the translations. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure that's the word I would use, but it still works. Right. And the chances are that people on the other end sometimes are using Google Translate themselves. And that's why messages may come up, kind of weird when you read them. So Google Translate. All right. We kind of talked. So my third tip was use the eBay's global shipping program, but we've already talked about that extensively. Now, the easiest way to do this, is if you just Google eBay global shipping program. I think it's like 2 or 3 links down. You just click on it, and there's this thing where it'll allow you to put all your items under eBay global shipping.
Yeah, and again, you're probably not going to see smaller items sell through this because one of the things that is a bit of a bummer when you do this GSP thing is the global shipping program is you might have customers say, well, how much is it actually going to cost? And a lot of times they don't know from what I gather, unless they like put the item in their cart and they're ready to pay.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll tell you why they don't know.
Yeah. And so then they see what it's actually going to end up being. And sometimes the amount they're paying in shipping is astronomical. So you might have a customer reach out to you and say like, hey, I'm wanting to buy this thing from you for $250, but they're basically charging me $300 for shipping. So can you knock this down to $150? So, you make those choices and decisions as you need to, but they do end up paying quite a bit. But the nice thing is if they're paying that, they really want that item. Chances of you running into issues and returns go significantly down.
Correct. Now, here's the tip that goes along with eBay global shipping. Make sure all the items that you list have dimensions, right? The most of the time when I get a message from someone trying to buy something international and they're like, hey, how much is shipping going to be, right? You would think, well, didn't eBay tell you on your end? The reason eBay doesn't tell people is because sometimes either one, you have no dimension in there, right? So for example, on the previous Monday mini-sode, I talked about how I do flat rate boxes for all my shoes, right? So generally I don't put dimensions for my shoes, right? They're all just flat rate. So I don't worry about putting dimensions, but they need the dimensions because if you do eBay global shipping after it gets to Kentucky, right? They need dimensions for it to go through customs and for them to be able to pay certain fees and so on. And so make sure that all your items that you're doing GSP have dimensions and make sure they're accurate dimensions. I was selling a bunch of model trains for a while and I had a huge collection and I think I was selling as a lot. And so the dimension I put was like 20 pounds and it was like 16 by 15 by 16 box. And I used that cell similar for all my little model trains that were cars. Like 8 ounces. Yeah. And so I had all these people messaging me going, is it really going to cost $200 and something for that little thing? And I had to go, oh no. So be careful that your dimensions are accurate when you're setting up eBay global shipping. Okay. All right. Now I've changed my views on stuff. I used to be only eBay global shipping. I'm not anymore. And I'm not anymore for items that are less than a pound. Okay, now you could do it for stuff that's over a pound. That's fine, right? So eBay has another option called eBay International Standard Delivery. And it's pretty much eBay global shipping, but I think it's cheaper because the buyer doesn't have to pay for the fees and all the custom stuff until it arrives at their country. So with eBay global shipping, the eBay buyer pays everything up front. This way they pay stuff on the other end. And so it gives them some leeway. They don't have those huge eBay fees that they pay. Now, it's just as easy. All you have to do, I think when I've done it, I've had to ship stuff to like Hermosa Beach in California. And then it goes through that warehouse and it ships out. So it's really easy. So Canadian buyers love this option because man, they were, I remember when I was selling Harley Davidson shirts, they were getting slammed with high shipping fees.
The GSP, yeah. And for a long time, you were pretty against just the international standard. You kind of didn't want to give it a try. Mm-hmm. You were like GSP protections. But would you say now looking back that you've definitely been potentially were losing money that entire time?
It's potential. I don't know. I mean, I just sold a Manchester United windbreaker through eBay Global Shipping, and the person paid the high fees. Again, I think if international buyers are buying on eBay, they know what to expect, and most of the time they're willing to pay. But yeah, I'm willing to admit I probably lost some money here and there, you know? So again, eBay standard, international standard delivery. I would say for any item that's under £1, it's an easy way to get started. You can make it for stuff that's over. And the reason you want to do that is, again, it goes to our first tip about keeping everything on the platform. eBay has tracking on all those items. Now, the last one, okay, if you want to take it a step further and you want to be, let's say there are some countries that you can't do eBay Global Shipping. There's some countries that you can't do international standard delivery, but pirateship.com is a great option. So pirateship.com lets you import your eBay listings. But even if you couldn't import them, right? Let's say it's something that somebody wants to buy and they can't do it through GSP, they can't do it through international standard delivery, and they message you and they're like, hey, I really want to buy this, but I don't have this option. Or I want to buy this through eBay, you know, global, not through eBay Global Shipping or through international standard delivery, but I'm still wanting to buy from eBay because, you know, they're looking at all the high fees. Pirate Ship has this thing called Simple Export, and it's really, really easy.
Yeah, it's called Simple for a reason.
Yeah. So first of all, you have to sign up for it. So it's very basic. You go to Pirate Ship, you go to their chat, and they get back to you pretty quick. And you just say, hey, I really want to do a Pirate Ship Simple Export. And they're like, hey, let us get you set up. And that's it. And so when it sells, now, this could be an item that's sold on Bonanza or sold on, I don't know, another platform. You can still use Pirate Ship. You don't need it to import or to be connected to another platform. But really, it takes care of everything for you. It makes it so easy. Back in the day, you used to have to go and get forms and fill out those forms by hand. Pirate Ship Simple Export will fill out all those forms. Now, I want to add a tip, though, here for international, which applies to everything. So if outside of global shipping. So if you are shipping anything out and it's something that is not through eBay Global Shipping. So that means you're going to have custom forms that you're going to have to fill out. And it's really easy through eBay's International Standard Delivery or Pirate Ship Simple Export. You just have to fill out the weight and what the item is. Do not be specific on what the item is. So if you're shipping out a Harley Davidson shirt, just put shirt. If you're, sending out a super expensive, toy, just put toy. Right? If it's some kind of book, just put book. Keep it very generic because you don't want, I'm not saying this happens in all countries, but certain countries, people like to kind of see what's inside. And if you give them a clue what's inside, that might cause some problems. So
yeah, be honest, but you don't have to disclose everything, right? You don't have to put exactly like Orlando said that this is the brand of the shoes that are coming, right?
Yeah, you don't have
shoes. You don't have to say like
these are Yeezys.
Nike.
Just put shoes.
Yeah, just shoes. And the nice thing is you're being honest, so you're not worried about any kind of issues with things going through customs. But again, you're potentially not dealing with problems that could occur at any stage in the shipping. So in the same way that if you're shipping something local, you wouldn't do that, right? Like it's never a good idea to have boxes that have on the outside, like this is a brand new TV, right? You don't want that sitting outside. Even Amazon, it's like if somebody's delivering a box, you're hoping that it's just an Amazon package and doesn't actually say like Xbox One on the outside, correct. Right? So
I'm shipping out a PS5.
Yeah. So keep it generic, and you will definitely save yourself potential heartache.
So again, Pirate Ship Simple Export. It's really easy. The forms are super simple. It's online. It's all streamlined. Check it out. It's definitely, again, we're not sponsored by Pirate Ship. We're just trying to help everyone out. So those are, I think they ended up being like 6 or 7 international best practices. But listen, there are so many international buyers. My best sales have been, all my best sales have been international. Every single one of my best sales. I've maybe had some good sales in the States, but most of them have gone out of country. So you do not want to leave that money on the table. And with that being said, make sure to be real,
be relevant,
and be reselling. Late.
Peace.